April 23rd, you may not know, it's World Book Day. It's a day to celebrate literacy and reading. It's coming up, and if you're looking for your next read, well, consider this heartfelt story of family, loss, and legacy. It's about this family's amazing survival story during the Holocaust. It's called Hidden in Plain Sight, and it was written by speaker and author Julie Brill, who joins us via Zoom this morning to share more. Good morning, Julie.
Good morning, Todd.
Thanks for joining us. I have to ask, obviously this is a very personal story, but what inspired you to start it, to write this book?
Thank you. I was always trying to fit my father's childhood memories of being a toddler, really, 2, 3, 4 years old in occupied Belgrade, Yugoslavia, as a young Jewish child with the greater story of the Holocaust. We didn't learn about the Holocaust in Yugoslavia. Most people don't know what happened in Serbia. My quest to try to understand that is the basis of the book. And then when I realized really no one knows the story, there are no books in English on this, I wanted to make it a book and share the story of the Jews of Serbia.
Wow. What an amazing, yeah. So you're saying there really wasn't any literature about the Jewish experience in Serbia during this time. So let's write one. And what a personal story. Can you tell us a little bit about the arc and the title itself?
Sure. The title comes from my struggle to understand how my father survived the war. We had a few pictures of him during the war and before. One of them is the cover of the book. So this is my father and my aunt, 2 young Jewish children, and they're standing on the street in occupied Belgrade, obviously not hiding. That's where the cover comes from and the title. And my quest was to understand how could this be? That's kind of the mystery that drove me.
How could it be that they were able to survive?
Correct. How are they on the street? Why aren't they hiding? How are they still alive? How am I here at all?
Right, we hear these famous stories like those of Anne Frank about folks who were in hiding, being so quiet, but here they are walking the streets. When you wrote this, were your questions answered? Were you sated? Did you get what you needed?
I got an amazing amount of information. I always thought of history as being like a final thing. We learn it in school. What we know is what we know. And the reality is we know more about history all the time. So I found documents that even a few years before had not been available that had the answers to the questions.
Unbelievable.
Very satisfying. Yeah.
I bet that had to feel very good to be like, yes,
Yeah.
I've actually on this trek, I've actually achieved a goal. I'm assuming maybe some new ones popped up. Did any new surprises or questions pop up when you were researching the book?
Definitely. And, you know, my dad and I were kind of always bouncing off like what he remembered with the greater story, trying to figure it all out.
Well, stories like this obviously need to be chronicled because those folks are leaving us. So
Right.
super
Sadly.
important to get these on paper. Where can we get this book?
Thank you for asking. So my website is juliebrill.com. I've got all the links there, but it's available Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Bookshop, your local independent bookstore, wherever you buy books, you can get this.
Absolutely. What a story. If you're looking for that read, and like I mentioned, Book Day is coming up on 23rd, and that's the day this book will be available. juliebrill.com to pre-order yours or get more information. Julie, thank you so much for the time this morning.
Thank you so much, Todd. I appreciate your interest in my family's story.